If you listen real close, we'll get a dog chasing that freight train. And then the third time through, I'll play a little bit of O Susanna in the style of a guy named Harmonica Frank. Thanks. I'd like to play a song for you. It's called Border Town Tonight. I went down to San Antonio about 5 years ago, which, as you probably know, is not on the border. But I went to this little apartment and it looked like a great deal. I asked the lady, I'd like to rent it, but are there any cockroaches? And she said, oh, no, there's no cockroaches. Well, the sun went down and the cockroaches were just everywhere. I've never seen as many cockroaches, so I spent the whole night. I wrote this tune. The only thing about the night that was nice was that there was a beautiful moon in the sky. And so originally it was called There's a Moon Above Fredericksburg Road Tonight, which was the name of the road, and it didn't sound all that, you know, romantico. So I changed it. It's called There's a Moon Above This Border Town Tonight. When all the peddlers' tired eyes do brighten, and when the sun dips far behind the distant hill, even he'll be all right. Ah, there's a moon above this border town tonight. You know, on the edge of town there's a bull, and he's silently staring at the reflection of the moon in a pool at his feet. In his dull and gentle head, he can hear the music of the squeeze box and the bajo sexto beat. And he says, to hell with all these matadors, who wants to fight? There's a moon above this little border town tonight. See that one, and she's standing at the window. Every breath she takes comes quicker than she ever knew. Every breath she takes betrays she lacks a lover. Every glance I steal betrays I know it too. Well, I just wish it was me holding her tight. Ah, there's a moon above this little border town. I was talking about Fred. Or we could call us the Los Gringos del Norte, the Gringos of the North.
I'll be the PG one out.
Los Gringos del Norte. Los Güeros del Norte. We're going to do this little polka. For some reason, I got into this Mexican-American accordion music. Sounds a lot like German and Czechoslovakian music because there used to be a lot of Germans and Czechs in Texas. But they kind of made it their own down there. You'll hear it around the border area throughout the breadth of the U.S. and as well as throughout the U.S. wherever there are Mexican-Americans and throughout Latin America. And they call it conjunto music or norteño music.
Get small now.
We're going to start off with one by a guy named Santiago Jimenez,
All right.
Senior. Flaco's dad, in case any of you have ever heard of Flaco. And it's a little tune called El Gallinero. I call it the Chicken Polka. It's in the key of G. 2, 3. Same changes, Steve.
Muchos gracias.
Nosotros estamos de sus órdenes. Which means I hope you didn't understand what we just said. What are we going to do here? Man, that was pretty good. That sounded all right. You know, as they say, if we practiced, they couldn't afford us. And who said it?
Chirps don't fondle my chicken.
So, I want to thank Greg Stiles for, among many other things, bringing that chicken up in honor.
Skin? We need some chicken skin music.
Yeah, we need some chicken skin music. He brought that up when we did the chicken polka. So for our next piece, we're going to do a tune called the Hippopotamus Polka for you.
Don't you need to
No.
play bass chicken? Stand on your toes and stretch him out. He makes a real nice sound.
Like rhythm chicken. On the mic.
Bajo chicken, man.
Bajo chicken.
You do tend to rip the heads off every now and then. We spike them off, man. You can chew on those chicken heads for a long time.
Can the audience hear what the sound man is saying, or is that just us?
Just us.
Just us.
Shake your heads. Shake your heads.
So if you hear us replying to non-existent questions, that's what's happening.
It's him. That one out there with the hat on.
Maybe somebody out there could do us all a favor and put a muzzle on the sound man?
Put a bullet through his forehead. We're going to do a waltz. This is a couple of them. The first one is called Pan de Maíz, or cornbread.
You can take a solo on this one, not me.
Corn, okay. And
Dash.
it is corn. It's a lot like what I've been told is put your little foot, but I don't know if I'm doing it the right way, but so you guys hang in there with me, and then
Choreography by Chirps.
the second one is a little bit of, you'll recognize the second one. Pan de maíz con cockroaches, con la cucaracha. This is a little tune for you we would like to do. Los
No long-time country been in.
yeah, no speak English much.
But I learned.
Now, people, you know what happens when they open up those immigration laws, man. Central Illinois, overpowered with illegal immigrants.
See the library card?
I don't have a green card.
This is one that I think was written by a guy named Augie Myers. And it was recorded by Buck Owens, and it is amongst a series of standards that Tex-Mex bands play out of the country repertoire. Some of the other country tunes that they love to play down there are Release Me, The Wild Side of Life, Till the Next Teardrop Falls, and then there is this one which is called Abre tu Corazón, or Open Up Your Heart. Corazón, vivita, déjame entrar. Sabes que te quiero, no puedo olvidar. Tú eres mi cariño, yo te quiero hasta el fin. Open up your heart and let my love come in. Open up your heart and let my love come in. Open up your heart and let my life begin. Open up your heart and let my love come in. Open up your heart and let my life begin. Now, darling, if you love me like the way I do, please don't try to scare me. Say you love me too. Now that you know, darling, that I told you everything, open up your heart and let my love come in. spooky in here now. Abre tu corazón, vivite déjame entrar. Sabes que te quiero, no puedo olvidar. Eres mi cariño, yo te quiero hasta el fin. Open up your heart and let my love come in. Open up your heart and let my love come in. Open up your heart and let my life begin. Open up your heart and let my love come in. Open up your heart and let my life begin. It's great to be in America. Free country. Anybody who wants to stick around up here with me, we can do some old blues or anything. Feel free. Except I gotta have a guitar to do it.
You take chicken.
Me take chicken.
You take chicken.
Speak English.
Chicken cordon bleu.
Un pollo.
Pollo blanca.
Pollo blanca.
You guys want to stick around and play some tunes or should we?
Go ahead, finish that.
Okay.
Arroz.
Big hand for los Gringos del Norte. Adios.
Tacos, tortillas.
Okay, enchiladas and bueno, sí, no, y vaya con Dios. Whew.
Who were those guys anyway?
I don't know. It was sort of a, it was just sort of. I don't even think it happened. You know? Oh no, I still got the chicken on there. Chicken, chicken, you can't roost too high for me. Little spelling lesson here today. Chicken, chicken, come on out of that tree. Chicken, 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 you can't roost too high for me. C is the way we begin. H the next letter, then I am a bird. C for to season the bird. K we get to fill him in. E we're getting near the end. C-H-I-C-K-E-N. That's the way we spell chicken. Mississippi John Hurt. Wise guy. How about we could do a promoter of folk concerts polka and see how that turns out. Let me see. I think at this point we ought to give. I'm not familiar with everybody who's had a hand in putting it all together today. I know there's been a whole lot of people. I know Greg has been in contact with me, and we all stayed at his place and everything. But there's been a lot of people who have gone to a lot of work, including, I believe, the County Conservation Board came up with some. Is that it? Anyway, give them all a hand, whoever they were, and I'm sure having a great time. So if you give them a hand, that would be great. You know, I'm tempted to do a kind of a nasty little number. Maybe we could take a vote on it. It's kind of, we'll just take a vote. How many would like me to do the nasty little number? You could raise your hand. And how many would not like me to do it? Okay, I had no hands. I'll let my conscience be my guide. This is one I thought that Jimmy Swaggart really ought to have something written for him, you know. The chicken made me do it. And I've been, trying to write some tunes from the woman's point of view. So this is called The Hooker's Dream. Please forgive me. I was hooking out on the street one night down in New Orleans. I found a hooker's dream. He was a hooker's dream. You know, a man rolled up in a big limousine, and I knew it was Mr. Swaggart from TV. He was a hooker's dream. That was a hooker's dream. Well, I jumped in and I gave him a big smile. He said, ooh, baby, I just want to watch a while. I took off my blouse. He went into a trance. He started preaching with his hand in his pants, and that was a hooker's dream. It was a hooker's dream. You know, day after day and month after month, I had my little Jimmy just speaking in tongues. That was a hooker's dream. It was a hooker's dream. And I'd get up Sunday morning and I'd watch him on TV just taking up collection to spend on me. It was a hooker's dream. He was a hooker's dream. You know, his cousin Jerry Lee Lewis sang Great Balls of Fire. I was lucky 'cause the preachers were tired. Or maybe he was worried about the wages of sin. But the whole darn time he never even put in. That was a hooker's dream. Oh, he was the dreamingest man I've ever seen. He was a dreamer. Down in New Orleans town, they're just trying to find a preacher to put his Bible down. They all want to find a hooker's dream. Everybody wants a dream. And if I ever die, go to heaven, I hope I find Jimmy in a Motel 7. Ah, that will be a hooker's dream. He was a hooker's dream. He was the dreamingest man I've ever seen. He was a hooker. He was a hooker's dream. Thank you. I think I got time for a couple more, probably. You know, I think I want to do this tune here. One time I got this opportunity to go on a tour with a program called the Prairie Home Companion, and we got to go out to Honolulu, of all places. It was a great trip, and we decided, me and these guys in this little band I had, we were sort of substituting for their house band because they got fired or quit, and we wanted to hear some Hawaiian music, and so we looked in all the different exotic bars in, downtown Honolulu, and we were having trouble finding one. And finally, about 12 blocks from the heart of Honolulu, we walked into this place called, we said, let's forget about trying to find Hawaiian music. I mean, the real stuff, not that we would have known it if we would have seen it, but let's just go in this bar, and it was called Sparky's Bar, believe it or not. And we got in there, and it was full of wonderful Hawaiian music. That kind of, they call it slack key guitar. Catfish Keith, who's going to be on a little bit later today, does a little bit of the slack key guitar. He does it beautifully. But there was one guy there who came up, and I never got his name, but he sang a tune called Survivin', which is just a really some tune, and it apparently is by a Hawaiian guy named Peter Moon. Struggling and striving, living from hand to mouth, but we're surviving. Yeah, what keeps us going? Simple pleasures, just a knowing we're doing it, we're surviving. Let's take the good times with the bad, make the best of whatever we have. Sometimes we try, but still we fall. we're surviving in spite of it all. Ah, please, Mr. President, hear the babies crying and their mamas all begging. Don't you know they got hunger and pain? Don't you know they're living on only bread and rain? And just with love, they'll be surviving. Ah, let's take the good times with the bad. Make the best of whatever we have. Sometimes we try, but still we fall. But we're surviving in spite of it all. So keep your defenses. Pack up all your halfway measures and clear the trenches. We need a little peace for all mankind. The mighty dollar never buy heaven. We could be living in it, surviving. Let's take the good times with the bad. Make the best of whatever we've had. Sometimes we try, but still we fall. We're surviving in spite of it all. Well, let's take the good times with the bad. Make the best of whatever we have. Sometimes we try, but still we fall. We're surviving in spite of it all. Thank you. Well, hope everybody has a good time today. I've had a fun 2 days. There's a lot of great music coming up. I'd like to thank again the Los Gringos del Norte for coming and joining me for that little set. Maybe you could give them a hand for coming up and helping me out. Great guys and incredible musicians. I'll finish off with an old tune by a group called the Mississippi Sheiks. It's called She Ain't No Good. I had a gal, she was just the kind I thought I'd make her mine. But when I'd look the matter through, she was the worst of kind. She ain't no good, she ain't no good. When I came to find her out, she ain't no good. You know, some men love a country girl. My girl lives in town. A town girl will be loving you when a country girl messing around, and that ain't no good. That ain't no good. So when you get a girl that lives in the woods, she ain't no good. A town girl will get one man, she'll treat him swell. Country girl will get about 10 minutes, you give every one of them. Now she ain't no good, she's not any good. So when you find a girl that lives out in the woods, that's by that you know she ain't no good. You know, I went to a country girl's house, and only one night I spent. I got up next morning, I come back home, I've been running ever since, and she ain't no good. She ain't no good, no. When you get a girl that lives in the woods, that ain't no good. I had a gal, she was just the kind I thought I'd make her mine. When I looked the matter through, she was the worst of kind. She ain't no good. She ain't no good. So when you get a girl that lives in the woods, she ain't no good. She ain't no good. She ain't no good. So when you get a girl that lives in the woods, unless it's in the woods of magnolia and the music in the wild, she ain't no good. She ain't no good. She ain't no good. So when you get a girl that live in the woods, she ain't no good. Thank you.